Hey everyone, I'm Ross Chastain, and welcome to episode 2 of Ag to Asphalt, presented by Levrack and powered by Ag America Media. You can watch the full episodes on the Like a Farmer YouTube page and listen wherever you get your favorite podcast. Today, we're going to touch on the Daytona 500 in Atlanta, races that we've already ran. And then I'm going to show y'all Master Blend Family Farms in Kenansville, North Carolina, where they specialize in pasture-raised pork. And finally, we'll look ahead and continue our prep this week for COTA down in Austin, Texas. So let's jump right in. The Daytona 500 did not go according to plan for us on the one car. We were caught up in a very odd stack up there at the beginning of stage 2. Unfortunately, I had worked myself to the back of the pack. So by the time the accordion got to me from the 22 having his issue on the restart, it was a big time pileup for the outside lane, which they all made it through, except John Hunter got shoved down into me. I never saw him coming, so we got hooked in the right rear. And the only thing that slowed me down before I hit the wall head on was, unfortunately, my teammate Elio in the 91. And we added 2 more cars to the 7 total that Trackhouse lost in Daytona. We tore up 7 cars almost completely. So since I talked to you last, I went out to Kansas City in the middle of a blizzard, which I'll just stop right here. We landed American Airlines in a snowstorm. The snow piles on the runway pushed off to the side were bigger than the plane. Charlotte, we got to get our act together down here. We stop when it rains too hard. But I was there with New Leaf Symbiotics, the global leader in pink pigment and facultative methylotropes. It was a really cool event because I got to present the Women in Ag Award to Kimberly Ratcliffe. That was a cool moment to share the stage with her. No, actually, I didn't present it. They took it from me. I just remembered and presented it.
They took it from you?
Yeah, they didn't have me present it. We went there with that I was going to present it, and then a lady named Ann did it. I just remembered.
So you were just there for support.
I was simply there.
That's good.
I got friend zoned off the stage.
Wow. Has that ever happened for you before?
I don't want to talk about it. And then when I left Kansas City, where it was 1 degree Fahrenheit when I woke up in the morning, that's too cold for me. Made a trip down to Austin to promote the COTA race, which is the next one coming up. And I tied it into the National Watermelon Association's annual convention, where the Florida Watermelon Queen was crowned the National Queen for 2025. So if you see Watermelon Queens at the track, the National Queen will be Miss Eleni Mason. Excited about her winning that award and continuing to promote agriculture and specifically watermelons across the country. So be on the lookout for her and her crown and sash. So that's what's been going on with me. But let's jump in to the Smashdown presented by Levrack and get into Atlanta. A track that is aging quickly, but the cool temperatures we had kept us packed together. The cars did not drive good. Stage 1, starting back in the 30s, I struggled to, make the right decisions, and I kept going to the bottom of 2 or sometimes 3 wide because it's where my car handled better, but I had no drafting help. So I kind of just cycled myself around in the back at the beginning. And then some key moments was Phil Surgeon in stage 2 decided to pit and then stay out into stage 3. And ultimately that got us off cycle with the leaders and put SVG and I up front, and we could kind of control the race. That was some good reps up front for both him and I, and how to work together, work with other Chevys, control the front row of the race from either lane. And then we had to ultimately pit and put our last set of tires on. We took 4 on our last set, and most of the field in front of me, like in the top 20, all took fuel only. And so that allowed us to have a tire advantage of about 20 laps, which allowed me early in stage 3 to drive back forward. And I had learned my lesson from earlier and quit going to the bottom and just kind of went up the middle. And that got us back up into that top 10. And then we just were able to race up there. The rest of the race had some big time pushes and runs and fighting Josh Berry for the lead late in stage 3. That was cool, but the track it's not as wide as Daytona and Talladega. So getting 3 wide is really tough. The cars are not driving good like they do at the other super speedways. So with this track being a mile shorter, it made it tough to follow. And so I learned to just keep cycling myself forward was the best bet. So you saw me take every run available once I got up in that top couple positions late in stage 3. We were able to restart on the front row for the green, white, checkered. I mean, that's everything you ask for going into a cup race. Give me the front row. We chose second, and I'm I'm going to take that front row every time. And I thought I did a really good launch. I got through the gears good and got off at turn 2 side by side with Larson. And obviously everybody knows that's where it all unraveled. So we got put bottom of 3. And at that moment, our race was over. Of course, I'm gonna Monday morning quarterback it here today, but I'll take that front row and count on the guy behind me pushing me to give us a shot to win. I think I believe truly that's the right call, even though it didn't work out this time. And to touch on the Saturday race with the XFINITY series, you might have noticed some watermelon colors on Justin Allgaier's car. So that was a really cool opportunity for Protect Your Melon, a program that we created several years ago. In 2015 was the first time that you would have ever seen it on my XFINITY car. And we've grown that program across 14 states now. And it's just a general message of reminding all of y'all out there to wear your seatbelt. It's really simple. It takes less than 2 seconds to click the seatbelt in. It takes me a couple minutes to get in the car with 9 seatbelts. So although I drive crazy fast on the track, like we crash is what NASCAR drivers do. Protect Your Melon is all about reminding us all when we get on the highway to go home, go back to the airport, or go home from the racetrack to just wear your seatbelt, protect your melon. So Allgaier did great, ran second. Very thankful to Junior Motorsports for allowing us to sponsor that car. That was a cool moment. You don't see me sponsor too many other people. We've done it with Caden Honeycutt, a few other Nice drivers, a few folks over at Mario Goslin's team at DGM, but really cool moment to be on that 7 car coming off a championship just a few months ago. Really a neat opportunity, and Justin was great, although I don't think he quite got Georgia Governor's Office of Highway Safety down yet. He doesn't quite have that rolling off the tongue, but keep working on it, Justin. You'll get it eventually. But to come home second, I will say, and I'll tell myself, I was in the one hauler in the Cup garage long after the garage had closed, standing by the watermelon. If he won, I was going to run it out. There are some mixed emotions, mainly from my family, about if that's the right thing. Should another driver smash a watermelon? But I sponsored the car with Protect Your Melon, and I wanted him to smash the watermelon. A rising tide raises all ships. So any positive promotion of watermelons is going to help the industry. And y'all have seen me and heard me talk about it for a long time. So anytime I can put watermelons in a bright light on a big stage like the XFINITY series, I was ready. And Justin knew it. He was going to get the watermelon right there on the front stretch if he was able to win. And we were ready. We came home just one spot short. Really cool moment for the Protect Your Melon program. Before we jump into all things COTA, I spent some time with Ron Simmons at Master Blend Family Farms, where they specialized in pasture-raised pork, and they've done that since 2012. And Ron's quite the character, so he was really good on camera, and I want to show y'all everything that we did. Today we're here at Master Blend Farms in Kenansville, North Carolina with Mr. Ron, who's going to show us around your operation. I see some Kubotas when I was pulling in the driveway, but tell us what you do here.
So Master Blend Family Farms is a small operation located here in Kenansville. We specialize in pasture-raised pork. We have clients that range from small mom and pops locations up to like cool restaurants. So just living the dream, bro, being a buck with you.
All right, are you from Kenansville?
No, so if I'm gonna be candid with you, so I met my wife, she duct taped my ankles and legs together and threw me in the trunk and brought me here to Kenansville, and I've been stuck ever since, bro.
So this was your father-in-law's operation and your wife's family business, and you married in.
Yeah.
So you had the opportunity to stay out of ag, and you jumped in.
Yeah. So Dad has the experience. His family 31 years, and he was doing it as like a side revenue stream. One day I got curious. I was like, hey, Dad, so is there any way possible that I can dive in and take it? And at the time, he was just farming. Mm-hmm. And so whenever he gave me the approval, I put a label on it. I was like, hey, we're going MAB, man. And it turned into this phenomenon that we have today.
So you had that vision to put a label. So Master Blend Family Farms, that's when you took and put a label on his work of what he was doing and then took it on. That was just a couple of years ago. Well, so you went and worked with the state. That was in 2012 whenever this was starting, or before?
Well, about 2 years ago, I actually joined the Department of Agriculture here for North Carolina. the impression that I had about the Department of Agriculture was that it was a group of individuals, very dynamic, very unique, that were like superheroes. And what I mean by that was no matter where they went across North Carolina, they were always giving inspiration and guidance to individuals that were in it or wanting to be in it. And I wanted to be a part of that because, I mean, for real, like I wanted to make a difference.
I want to get my hands dirty. Do you have
Oh,
anything we can
baby.
do? I mean, I see some Kubota equipment over here. We've got to be able to do something, right?
Hey man, let's make it shake. So we're gonna start with feeding the pigs.
Okay.
And then after that, hopefully we can enjoy like a cool meal, man. We got some brisket whipped up for you.
hungry.
Some barbecue. So let's get dirty first though.
All right. Well, thanks for having us today.
Yes, sir.
Do it. Okay, look, if you're taking off your good boots, well, you got to put on a pair of Georgia boots, okay? Georgia Boot wants to say thank you for what you do for ag.
Oh wow.
Give you a pair to strap on every day and go to work. So,
Dude, thank you.
Yeah.
Georgia Boots, thanks a million
yeah.
for this, man.
So
That's
get
hot.
these other things out of here.
All right, my bad,
Come
my bad. Oh man. So you know I'm gonna try to clean these up when we finish, right? You know this.
I know that.
Okay. Whenever we're putting feed out so that it's not super competitive in the pen, okay, it keeps the aggression level down on them. The other thing that we're looking at is with the feed conversion in the wintertime for us, it's gonna be higher because the weather is a little different or a little more extreme, right? And then in the summertime, especially during breeding, we'll drop what we're feeding only because they'll get hot fast. And like, you don't need a boar having issues or a mom. So like right now with it being wintertime, it's more just dirt. There's pastures on the far side that has vegetation growing. So we're doing this regenerative agriculture. And then on the far side, there's also babies, right? And basically, I try to keep them separated a little bit so that they're not really dealing with hostility. And then the last piece is, you probably know this being in agriculture, so hogs don't have sweat glands. So the way that we keep them cool in the summertime is that we create little puddles or big puddles for them. That way they can get in there in the mud and stay cool.
Yep.
I really don't want you getting dirty, bro.
Oh, come on. Come on. It'll be all right.
All right, so you grab one, I'm gonna grab one. And with your legs being longer, okay, you can start on that point over there, right?
How much you want in it?
Maybe a quarter of the bucket. There you go. All right, so now we can actually step in.
Yep.
And then we could also put some over in here in this other pen.
Those Georgia boots are going to get real dirty in their future. I don't care what you say.
Oh my
You act
God.
like, them ain't office boots, man. Them are working boots. How old is each?
So all of these are young, man. So the oldest one in here is the spotted sow right there. She's about 3. The rest of these are like about 2 years old.
Okay.
With the moms, the older they get up until about midway through. So I'm saying like 5, 6 years old. They're pretty awesome with being moms. So we're gonna go see her now. My boss lady calls her Friend. That's her name.
Big Mama, we're going
Big
to.
Mama,
is
yeah.
Friend.
Her name is Friend.
Hey, Friend.
Hey, baby. Yeah. The two on the outside are Berkshires.
Yeah.
And keeping you from having to deal with getting inside. I really don't want to dirty my boots,
Yeah,
bro.
I can tell.
So we can just put it in that trough right there. In regards of Ag Today and the racetrack, what have been the steps that you've used to be able to tie the two together? Because like, again, I was told that you would smash the watermelon. I was like,
I was a farmer long before I was a racer. I was born into the ag industry, and most people in watermelons, it's a pretty tight-knit community.
Okay.
And they knew my dad and granddad way before I was even a thought. So when I got old enough to know what, just realize that we grew watermelons, that's all I wanted to be. So when I got to NASCAR, we took watermelons, and the ag industry is what sponsored me. So the racing
wow.
sport of NASCAR and racing in general, it takes money. You have to pay to do it, whether you race at your local short track and you run a street stock or a Monte Carlo out there or whatever it is, or an old car that you turn into a race car.
Okay.
You have to be able to buy the fuel and buy the tires and buy the engine in the car and build it into what you want. So it's the same thing in the truck series is where I started. So in my early days, you saw a lot of ag sponsors. You saw companies that were maybe just putting generic watermelons on there, like Florida watermelons, Georgia watermelons. The National Watermelon Promotion Board has a smiley face logo that they use that they put on there because a lot of the companies weren't selling to the end consumer. Their buyer was a farmer. Well, they weren't trying to, at the time, do it in a way to do anything. They were just sponsoring me mainly because I was Ross, the son of a watermelon farmer. I wanted to bring ag along for the ride. And so my first win was in 2018. Mm-hmm. I stood up on top of the car. I held the watermelon up. I looked around. I went, what do I do now? I didn't plan that part out. So I just sat it down and we carried it around for like an hour. And I was doing some media interviews after, and they asked what I was going to do with it. And I said, I don't know, bust it open and eat it. And they asked if they could film it. So we went back out on the track, and it was almost dark. And this cool moment, I stood up on the wall, smashed it, ate a piece, and the tradition was born.
I really appreciate what you're doing, my dude.
All right, well, we've talked about all this. Do I get to try anything?
Let's go.
We're going to eat?
Let's go.
I mean,
let's go. Let's put in some work.
All right. That was hard work we just did. You know? That was real hard.
I'll let you pour it, bro.
All right, guys. That's a wrap from Master Blend Family Farms here in Kenansville, North Carolina. The Simmons family run a great operation here. They cooked up some awesome looking food. I got to taste a little bit on the grill. If you're looking for an event to be catered or a competition you need some more entries in, the Simmons family, Mr. Ron, will take care of you and probably come take first place. So we're gonna sit down with the family, eat this, have some fun. We'll see y'all down the road.
A big thanks to Ron and his family at Master Blend, as well as Levrack, Georgia Boot, and COTA. Now let's jump into Circuit of the Americas, where we're going to race this week. We're going racing with JRM. We're going to run the number 9 car in 5 races this year, and our first one's coming up this Saturday at Circuit of the Americas, a place where we got our first Cup win. I've qualified on the front row there in the XFINITY series before with Bobby Dotter and SS Greenlight. That was a really cool moment back a couple years ago in the rain, and I only got 1 lap in qualifying after 3 different attempts to go on track in the time allotment. I don't know if it was 10 or 20 minutes, but I could not complete a lap. I kept sliding off the track or aborting the lap because of cutting the track or about hitting the turtles we had in the S's that year. So we put it on the front row with Mario, and again with DGM with Mario Goslin. So that was some cool memories in the XFINITY series, but going back with the 9 this year is going to be incredible. JRM has everything that you need. They're Chevy supported in the XFINITY series, a powerhouse team. They've obviously just won a championship with Justin Allgaier, and I've been able to lean on Justin a lot. So as well as Connor Zilich being my teammate in the Cup race and at Trackhouse, he's there full time. So plugging in with those guys, really the list is endless. So with all 4 of them, I have to kind of talk about all of them because I've watched Carson Quapple grow up through the XFINITY, into the XFINITY car, through the late model program. And he used to show up to the Chevy gym in shorts with belt loops, which tells you everything you need to know about his workout program. But he's put the time in, and I really relate to him a lot because he's just kept showing up. Doesn't go away when things aren't working out. He just keeps showing up. And then Sammy Smith, cool guy. He did post a picture of me recently in a cold tub, which I'm sure they're going to show on screen right now. It's not my proudest moment, but we had rode bikes, so that's why you see the spandex overalls. It's look, the cold plunge is there for health benefits. It's not there for any kind of pleasure. It's a painful experience for me. And Sammy keeps his like 40 degrees, so not a big fan of that, Sammy. And then we've got a new layout for Circuit of the Americas. When we get to turn 6 of the old 20-turn course, we're going to hang a left and cut through the infield. And I think it's going to look more like Chicago than COTA, with walls on both sides, kind of a, maybe call it a chute style, is what I've heard some of the track folks say. really quick straightaway, and then another left to merge onto the back stretch. We're going to call that 6B, we've been told. So not sure why we don't just keep numbering more numbers, but when we get on the back stretch, we'll be what was the old brake zone for turn 12, and we'll remerge there and come through the stadium section and cut out the whole back half of the track. So saving, 30, 40 seconds, something like that. And just a lot more laps running by the stadium and the front stretch grandstands where everybody mainly watches. When we would get back in like turn 11 in years past, we had a red flag one time, and I looked all around and I saw 7 people. So maybe not the best from a fan perspective, although I like the track. We're going to have a lot more time in front of everybody that's there. We've got a special Busch Light paint scheme on the car this week, a true Austin, Texas, full-on cowboy paint scheme. The livery on the car is really unique. It's going to be unlike anything that y'all have ever seen, complete with Texas Longhorns on the front bumper. So make your jokes accordingly, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. And going back to Austin, we can't not talk about our first Cup win. 2022, this race put Trackhouse on the map where we were able to score the win, lead a bunch of laps, race with AJ Allmendinger a lot of the race. And I do like to remind people that AJ bumped into me first. I just bumped into him last, which ultimately got us the win. But I learned a lot from AJ over the years, so I've always looked up to him on the road courses. What he's able to do is simply amazing, and I've studied him for many years, back to my days at college. So I'm sure AJ will be in the hunt again, and this time we'll just stay ahead of him and not let him catch up on that last lap, because I gave up a big lead getting into turn 12. Just trying to be careful, and you can't be careful if you want to win Cup races. And then the Texas Department of Transportation booth in the fan zone, where they're just wanting to remind y'all to be smart and drive safe and leave the speed to us on the racetrack. We're going to do plenty of crashing for everybody. And then finally, the trackside live stage from 11:30 to 11:45. Might even be able to throw a question my way and see what kind of awkward answer I'll give. So if you're going to the race this weekend, come by and see us. Well, that's what we got for you this week. Be sure to subscribe to Ag Asphalt on YouTube and leave a rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We'll see y'all in the next episode.